Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are all good. Welcome to Yonkinto Local. Today I'm about to share my journey, my entrepreneurship journey. So before I dive into my journey, let me give you a background of who I am and what I do. I often do a lot of things. I don't box myself into one thing. So I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author, I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm a law graduate. So today I'm gonna be discussing more about my entrepreneurship journey. My entrepreneurship journey began while I was still young because I grew up in a family that is more like business orientated or entrepreneurship gifted when it comes to that. Because ekhaya mangisakhula bebathengisa ama-sweet, aja, ama-cigarettes, so I was exposed to that particular business while I was still young, and bekuyimbi ngiya ngiyostock and do all of that. So that's how the journey began. Then when I was doing grade 7, my passion for entrepreneurship grew more. I decided to start my first business, which was to take some sweet school. When I remember I started that business, it was around fourth term. So I started with 7 rand. For 4 weeks, I ran that business. After 4 weeks, I made about 400. Imagine starting a 4 rand to starting a 7 rand to 400 in 4 weeks. That's a lot of money. And back in 2012, that was kind of a lot of money. Then my journey preceded. I went to secondary school. So when I was in secondary school, I remember there was this man who was teaching on this message. What were you born for? What is your purpose on this earth? Then that question stuck on me. So during my journey of high school, I was questioning myself, what is it that I'm born for? Then as time went by, around 2016, I was doing grade 11. The passion for entrepreneurship began to grow strong in me. I started thinking about Sandile about Refuen. You still remember those days of trading? I'm a Bitcoin. Then I started asking myself, how do I get into this thing? How do I become an investor? Then that's how the passion began. And I remember that year I was a top student when it comes to business studies. Then that was a confirmation for me, which this thing of business is my thing. Then 2018, fast forward, that's when my first official and formal journey of being an entrepreneur began. I funded the first company called the Mashele Trading Project. So what we do, Mashele Trading Projects, we supply decorations, we do business consultation, we do micro lending. So starting that business was not easy because when you're starting a business, especially something that you've never seen from anyone closer to you doing that, it was kind of hard because getting clients was one of the biggest problems that we've ever encountered. So it was hard for me to build a portfolio and a profile because in this business, I'm a decoration. When people want your work, they want referral, and like any type of business that you do, people want your maybe Zanama referral. So what I decided to do, instead of competing with other decorations companies, I've decided let's form a partnership, let's form a collaboration. So what I would do, people who are in the same space now, when baboleki equipment, because what I started with, I started ngamatende, stretch tents. That's what I've started with. So some people didn't have a stretch tent, so they would come and outsource some stretch tent. What I did, Mina, I gave them a stretch tent at a lower price so that I can go and work with them and see how the industry is done. Because another challenge that we had is pricing. I didn't know how to do e-pricing because another thing is pricing, and how we price things differs. Because good deco, you need to charge for everything, and you also need to charge for labor. That's how my journey began. I started working with other local deco businesses. I formed a relation, and what we also agreed on was if I borrow you my equipment, like I'm a straight tent, I'm a table cover, and I would come and take pictures of that particular event and share it on my post. So through doing that, I started building my profile. Then people started coming. Then in 2020, that's the year I fully became independent to start doing my own decorations without going to other people. That's how the journey began. That was one of the challenges we have in building a profile. Another thing, the challenge that we have as startups or first generation entrepreneurs, this thing of funding capital. But capital is not an excuse. So what I did, I used to go to Facebook and search the equipment that I wanted for my decorations done now. After I did that, I took a photo and I posted it on my status. And I remember this particular person asked me, would say, how much is your decorations or how much is a stretch tent? I told them with the stretch tent is let me just make an example so that I break down the numbers. Let's say stretch tent was 500. When I took that picture, I said it's 600. So what they did, in order for me to come and work for you, you need to pay me deposit. So I told them, with obviously, and how much is it? 600. They had to give me 300 so that they pay a deposit. When I took 200, I added it. I went and bought that particular stretch tent. Then I installed that stretch tent for them. Then after that session, they paid me. That's how I got the first equipment. Then I remember we're doing a surprise birthday for my granny. So we did a quotation a day for the second event. So we did a quotation a day. It was quite expensive. I said, instead of getting someone to do Leo Deco, why don't we buy some of the materials that we're gonna need, and we can start the company deco. And that's how everything started. That's how we began growing. And another thing, challenging thing about the decorations company is when it comes to, what's this thing called, when it comes to certain seasons, the business is not that strong. Like when it comes to babies and what's this season, autumn and winter, it's not that busy. So when you make as much money as you can in summer, make that money, reserve it, and use it wisely, because when winter comes, the business tends to slow down. So hence, that's why with the ML Mashele trading projects, I don't do one thing. What I also do with micro lending now is to lend people money and they pay it back with a particular interest. That's another way of keeping the money going, because the micro lending, it was the business that was fully operational during lockdown, because remember, during lockdown we couldn't have my event and all of that. So that business was sustaining. And hence, I also do business consultation, whereby I want to register your business, contracts, and all of that, because I also have the legal knowledge. So I took that legal knowledge and I brought it here. Because if you can check us, we have many businesses, but when it comes to the technical side of the business, we don't have our skills. We don't register our companies. We don't have our contract when people work with us. So we end up being implemented in that particular thing. Then the next company that I formed in 2019 is called the ML Mashele Foundation, whereby we fully focused on community work and giving back to the community. Because I believe, as a businessman, you need to be involved in a particular community that you're operating in. What's the use of working in a particular community but you're not being involved? So what we do there, we do a different initiatives. So every year we try to do 4 projects. The first one, what we usually do when the year begins, with either sends a stationary drive. If not stationary drive, this year what we did different, we went to redesign another crash, a clip down, whereby learners come and attend that particular crash for free. So we decided, let's do something different. Let's redesign Leo crash so that it can have cartoons, so that it can be an educational space and whereby our kids can be motivated. The second part, what we do, we also do clothes giveaway and sanitary pads giveaway every July of the year. The third part that we are doing on Konaman is currently working with schools, whereby we're gonna be, this year what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be awarding learners with trophy, certificates, and some of the books that I've written. I'm sure you can see some of the material. So we're gonna be awarding the learners with this, since they're gonna be having a market day. We wanna award the top stores and the top presentation. We wanna award them so that we can promote the spirit of entrepreneurship. Then when the last project that we usually do by the end of the year, we use party pack or to do a fun day for the kids, so that those who don't have anything for Christmas and all of that, they can have something that they can use. And guys, listen, you don't need money to start this, because me, I'm a firm believer. I believe in tithing. So every 10% that I make from these different companies that I'm running with, it goes towards the foundation. You don't have to give that much in order to be impactful in the community. Sometimes you can give your time, sometimes you can give your knowledge. So it's up to us to serve, guys. So that's the business that we're having of the ML Mashele Foundation project. Because as the years go by, people even start giving us things without even us advertising or going to them. Like clothes, people know when they want to give clothes away. By us, Tinyiko is there. He will come and collect the clothes. Then he will give them away through the ML Mashele Foundation. Even people when they have pads, none. So the advice that I would give to anyone who's in the NPO space, build your profile. Once you've built a solid profile, sorry about that, people are going to come and look for your services. Then the third company that I formed is called the VisionaryCorner, which is online and the physical educational platform. So what we try to do with VisionaryCorner is try to inspire other young people and to also be educational. So in VisionaryCorner, we focus more on self-development, vision, purpose, entrepreneurship, and financial education. Because it's something I've also seen in my family. As I've said, we come from a background where people are gifted when it comes to the entrepreneurship space or venture. So what I've seen, most of them people have started businesses back then, but those businesses couldn't go beyond their lifetime, or they couldn't build businesses that are sustainable without them being in those businesses. Hence, I've decided to start this thing of teaching people about financial management, the entrepreneurship, so that we know how to build sustainable businesses that are gonna go beyond our lifetime. So that's one of the reasons I'm really passionate about that. So as I was still saying with Visionary Corner, we have different initiatives. One of the initiatives that we do school tours, whereby we go and tour different schools, teaching learners about entrepreneurship, financial education, vision, and purpose. Because I believe each and every one of us was born with a purpose, was born with a gift. So we want you to take your gift and your purpose, combine it together, create a business out of that. As we go to these schools and we start teaching about this, because as I've said, I started my journey when I was still doing grade 7. So imagine how many more Tinyikos we have in schools that they want to start their own businesses, but they don't have the proper information. So by us going through those schools, they were trying to bridge that gap. Guys, it's possible to start your own business using 1, 2, 3, and we also provide mentorship for those kids, because Tina, it's some of the things that we couldn't get, Tina, while we were still in school, or we didn't know about such. Because guys, business is open to everyone, and each and every one of you is gifted. Even you who's watching this, you're gifted. But if you discovered your gift, how can you take your gift, turn it into a business? And another thing we want to try to teach to those kids in our communities is to think beyond employment. Because if people who go to universities, colleges, they graduate, they come back with those skills, but they can't use them. So now we try to teach you how to use those skills. How do you take that particular skill that you went to school and start your own thing? Because guys, small businesses is the future of the country. We need more small businesses, because there's no employment that is coming. As the years go by, even the unemployment rate keeps on going up. So that's the most important thing, is we're trying to change the mindset of our kids. The second thing that we do every year is our annual business seminar, whereby we host business seminar. We invite different experts when it comes to business, so that they can come and be our guest speakers. We even invite local businesses to come and showcase their talent and their craft. So that's what we do every year. Usually host our annual business seminar June 16. What we also do we have our financial management master classes, whereby we teach people how to manage their finances. Because guys, when I started saving at the age of 5, so today I have over 19 years of saving. So that's some of the things that we're trying to teach people: how to save, to invest, because saving now requires a purpose. Okay, Visionary Corner started in 2020 during the lockdown, because there was a burning desire that I had within my heart. Why don't I teach about the information that I have when it comes to entrepreneurship, financial management? But remember, during 2020, people couldn't gather. There were no physical gatherings that were allowed. We couldn't even go to schools and all of that. So what we've decided to do, why not build a podcast, a YouTube podcast? That's how YouTube Visionary Corner started. It started as a YouTube channel. Then we went beyond being a YouTube channel to doing our school tours, whereby we go to uh, different schools throughout Gauteng, to go and teach about entrepreneurship, financial management, career guidance, and self-development. We also, in 2021, we also started hosting our own annual business seminars that we host every year, whereby we bring different expertise in business and local businesses to come and showcase their products and whatever is it that they are selling, so that we can also network. Because another thing, if you can check, Ekasi, for entrepreneurs, we don't have that particular networking sessions, because it's now on common networking pools and none. But when it comes to business, we don't have that kind of a networking. So through that seminars, we are trying to bridge that gap, so that we can also share the problems and some of the challenges that we are going through. Because you might think you're going through some of the challenges alone, but once you start mixing with fellow entrepreneurs, you start growing. Then after my business seminar, we started hosting financial master classes, whereby we fully train people on how to manage their finances, and we've also written a manual on how to manage your finances. This is a sample, this is a prototype, working on the final product. I think it will be launched around September, October. Then we've also written another study guide all the basics of entrepreneurship and starting a business. So imagine, guys, we went from a YouTube channel to having different kind of products, so that we shouldn't also fully depend on YouTube to pay us, guys, so that we can also reach as many people as possible, generate different streams of income as possible, because we also have mentorship guidance that we have, training programs that we have. So that's why it has allowed us to go beyond the YouTube channel, so that we don't only focus on the online world but also the physical world. It's much easier, guys, to interact with someone physically and seeing them growing. Yeah, when you're phoning, you can grow and all of that, but me seeing you growing physically, that's what gives me so much fulfillment and inspiration to keep on working. Seeing those school kids, when we go to them, seeing their hope being restored, because those are some of the testimonies that we get, which are, you have changed my life, or how I think, or how I see myself, I mean, that's the most fulfilling thing that I see when you go to the school tours, seeing some of the learners that we have trained actually starting their own businesses. That's what we do. So, guys, you can find us on our social media platforms when it comes to Visionary Corner. You can find us on YouTube, we call Visionary Corner, Instagram, Visionary Corner, TikTok, we are also called Visionary Corner. That's where you can find us and follow some of our content. Then the last business that I'm running is called Scholar Academy. It's the one that I'm also wearing the t-shirt here. So Scholar Academy, it's a tutorial company. It fully focuses on formal education, because this business started in 2021. And it's funny, guys, how this business started. It started as an idea, because I've been in the tutoring space from 2018. 2018, I used to work for Mathematics Victory. We used to work there on Saturdays. Then from there, the contract ended when 2019 began. I started doing a private session. I would tutor some of the students that we were studying with, or some of the students that I knew. But this desire came back, would say, why don't you start your own tutoring company in January 2021? I've written this on my Facebook status, would say, hey, guys, I'm willing to tutor certain subjects, and some of the subjects I can give them to you for free. Then I posted that. After I posted that, there were some of the students who came in, they wanted to start. And mind you, guys, I didn't have a venue, I didn't have any resources, it was just an idea. Then there was one of the guys who's running a tutorial program around now. He said, why don't we work together and join hands? So I decided, let me go and join him, because then I had a venue whereby I was running classes. Then Feb, March, April, May, June, we worked together. Unfortunately, July, we had to split ways, because sometimes you might work together but not share the same vision or what. So that's when we decided to path ways. He went his way, I also went my way. Then that's how we started. Then I started with one of my business partners who couldn't be here. I also wanted him to be here. Kumbuzo Ramatlapa, but he's not here. So that's how we started. So the biggest challenge that we had when we started, it was finding a venue, because, you know, guys, it was still COVID, and COVID based those days. So people were not open to giving us their schools to run classes, because there was still COVID, and COVID was still a high issue during those days. So finding a venue was one of the difficult things. I remember I went about to 3 or 4 different schools, getting rejections, which we can't give you classes and all of that. But you know, as an entrepreneur, you keep going. We went to this other side, next to Shawela post office, called Voga Center. We went there. They gave us a venue, sort of like a community center, whereby they have different initiatives for the community. We went there. We used that venue for 2 weeks. It was not sustainable, because it was one big open hall. So we couldn't stay there for long, because we have different grades, because we're specializing grade 9, 10, 11. Yeah, grade 9, 10, and 11 those days. So we had to go and find a different venue. So I remember there was this other venue. It's called White House there. One of my business partners would sometimes go there, do a rehearsal for the music career, for the music business that he was running. So I've asked him, hey, Joe, I'm okay up. Don't you know the person who owns this place and all of that? Then we met the caretaker. We got the venue. And when we started, guys, we never had tables. We never had chairs, but luckily that venue had chairs. So we used those chairs to start running that particular program. So our learners used to use this kind of chairs without any tables, and they would use these chairs to sit on and to also write on for about a month. But after we got some money, we took that money, we started investing in tables. After tables, we started buying our own chairs. So those are some of the difficulties that we faced. Having proper equipment to use. That's the challenges that we had. So we bought our own table, we bought our own chairs. Then 2022, when the year began, you can plan and have everything written down, but when you start implementing, everything changes. I remember even the numbers of students that we had, they went down because remember, most of our students were grade 11s, and those days we only focused on from grade 9 up until grade 11. So when those students went to grade 12, we couldn't take them anymore. So we had to go and start building scratch foot, finding more younger learners to come and join the program. Those were some of the many challenges, but we kept on moving, guys. We kept on running the ship. So now we've went beyond focusing on grade 9 up until grade 11. Now we also do grade 12s. We also have introduced primary schools. We also work with tertiary students because our tutors have different skills. So we assign our tutors to different departments so that we can also grow our academy. And if you can check our slogan, it's written re-innovate academic growth. So our main purpose and vision in this thing is to go beyond the syllabus because most schools don't teach our learners how to think. So what we are trying to do, we need to teach our learners how to think, how to be visionaries, how to be independent thinkers. That's what we are trying to do, how they can use their skills. That's what we are trying to do in this business that we are working in. But guys, each and every entrepreneurship journey has its own challenges. There are always challenges that you're gonna face. Sometimes it's finding customers, sometimes it's payments. You just need to be strategic as to how you run your own business. The most important thing that have saved us and has sustained us long in business is this thing of managing finances well. You need to separate the business finances with personal finances. So you need to think at least 3 months ahead in whatever business you're in so that they can sustain you. Because the most challenge that we face is financial challenges. Sometimes I'm client you know how parents are. Sometimes they can pay you after a month or two. And when you have to pay your rent, you have to pay your tutors and all of that. So guys, it's important to save your finances well. Another thing that you can use to overcome your challenges that you have, guys, invest in yourself, study, read, attend seminars. You might never know who you might network with, people that you might meet along the way. Those are some of the people that can help you to overcome the challenges that you're facing. Because guys, if you want money, find people. Money is in people. If you know people, that's when you have everything. So invest in people, invest in productive relationships. Those are some of the keys that I've used. And another thing, guys, someone wants to start a business, I would advise them to start a business that they're passionate about, a business that they're gifted in. So rather start a business in an area of your gifting and talent. You will never go wrong in that particular way. Take time to find out what is it that God has given you. Take that particular gift and talent, turn it into a business, commercialize it. And another thing, guys, business is not easy. It takes 3 years to build a sustainable business because research shows that for every business that starts, they fail within 3 years. You know why? Because the passion is not there. The number one goal that people have is making money. Obviously, making money is the ultimate goal. But you need to think beyond making money. And think about the vision and the purpose that you have. Because in the early stages, guys, you have to build, especially building your profile. And another thing that you will never buy, or money that you will never buy, it's your babies and this thing. It's experience. So build your experience, build your network, read, study, invest in yourself. Those are the keys that I've used to overcome the challenges that I have. And the most important one is having a relationship with God. Because God is the one who gives us this entire ideas. I might be running that particular business, but that business belongs to God. So you need to depend on Him for strength, for growth, for ideas, for resources. He's the one who's going to provide you with everything that you need. So guys, it's possible. Start with whatever that you want to start. So if you want to find our businesses, the first one, the ML Mashele Trading Project, you can find us on Instagram. The second one, ML Mashele Foundation, you can find us on Instagram. Then VisionaryCorner, as I've said, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. The last one is called Academia. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also find us there. Then you can also find me on my personal page on Facebook called Tinyiko Mashele. So guys, if you need any business consultations or anything, you can go to those pages and you'll find me there. So yeah, you can find me on those pages. Even if you want our books, you can contact me on those social media pages. We can come and send it to you. If you need a motivational speaker or any services, you can come and talk to me via social media. Then I'm gonna be there and assist you. And I thank you to Yonkinto Local for the platform, and I hope this video reaches someone and it inspires someone. So and thank you guys for taking your time to watch this, and your recommendations and whatever you wanna ask, I would be happy to find them, and you can link below and like and share and subscribe. Thank you.